So last video I talked about how graphics don't make a game good. But today I might go ahead and talk about what exactly makes a game memorable to me personally. I'm not saying this will apply to everybody, but this is just how I see it and how it feels to me and how a game just sticks years after I've played it. There are games that I have played years ago that I still think about to this day. It's not because they looked amazing or anything. I mean, the graphics years ago when I was growing up weren't what they are today, but it's mostly how the game made me feel when the credits started rolling and I put the controller down. So without further ado, I will be going ahead talking about what makes a game particularly memorable to me. I would like to start off by talking about characters in some games. A good character makes a huge difference in how I view a game. If the character is dry, bland, and unmemorable, chances are the whole game is gonna be kinda off. First memorable character, or probably multiple, that I would like to talk about are characters from the original Modern Warfare trilogy. Namely, Roach and Ghost. Roach and Ghost from Modern Warfare 2 are probably among the most memorable characters in Call of Duty. You play as Roach from the beginning of the game. You'll switch points of view between two different branches of military, I guess, but you're with Roach from the beginning. And while you're playing as Roach, you've got Ghost fighting by your side. Spoiler alert, pretty sure we've all experienced this part, but when the game decides to just take them away from you, it hits hard and it changes the stakes drastically. Them being the most memorable characters of that trilogy probably is what piqued my interest in the entire trilogy as a whole. Good characters is something that Call of Duty was amazing at back then. Another example I could think of a good character would probably be from Titanfall 2. I know the game's not too old, it's almost a decade old I suppose, but the game, it looks amazing still. The game itself has aged well, but I would like to talk about the characters. You play as a rifleman, Jack Cooper, part of the militia, trying to fight the IMC or something. I only just recently beat the campaign for my first time, and I was absolutely blown away with how intense and emotional the whole thing was. You form this bond with your mech, BT-7274. It's a very strong bond. You even get dialogue choices throughout the game to, make it feel more personal. It's only 2 selections, but it just helps it feel more personal. I'm sure we've all seen or played the campaign, so that part at the very end where BT sacrifices himself for you after you played the entire campaign, bonding with him, it stings. It stings hard. Now, I know there's a lot of fan theories, even though Respawn never made any public statements about it, but that, everybody remembers the part, that mission, Cause and Effects, where BT uploads part of his AI into your helmet, and then at the end credit scene, you can see your helmet flashing, and people have figured out it was Morse code and it was saying Jack. So, very likely that BT's gonna be around. Too bad they canceled freaking Titanfall 3 because it's just something we need by now. I mean, the game's about to be a decade old this year, and yet They're just focused on live service games, so probably not gonna happen for a while. We need a Titanfall 3. Having a BT Jack Cooper reunion would be the best thing ever. Maybe even a longer campaign, more multiplayer, though I've never played the multiplayer, just the campaign, but I gotta say the movement was perfect. If they can make a Titanfall 3 keep the same movement, it would probably sell like really well. The thing is, Titanfall 2 came out at a real bad time, coming out next to like two major first-person shooters. And that kind of killed it. I think it's pretty tough to create another thing like Titanfall. Like, I can't find a game, and I've played a lot of games, I can't find one that feels like Titanfall. I can't find one that's got the same memorable characters, that's got the satisfying movement, that's got the good shooting, that's got the good storytelling, all in one. It's either all broken up into multiple games or just nothing. Titanfall 2 was truly something else, in a good way. It was really special to me. Playing through the campaign for my first time, once those end credits rolled, my jaw was on the floor. Like, the graphics could have been Xbox 360 level graphics and I would still have been hooked. The story, the characters, the atmosphere that you get when you're walking around in these semi-open areas you can explore is not very linear. Like, yes, it's linear, but you still got the freedom to wall jump. There's hidden collectibles as well. Playing through it for my second time trying to find all the hidden collectibles, so wish me luck on that one. But you get a little more freedom on how you tackle each level, and especially the combat. Fun little mechanic would have to be that cause and effect mission where you get that time gauntlet, allowing you to snap between two different times. That was really fun, really cool, and I just wish that somebody would expand on that idea more, because that was truly unique. I don't really know if I've seen anything like it. Like, this game, what was it called? Singularity for the Xbox 360. You get a device that can reverse time and forward time on certain objects and enemies, but it's not as satisfying as Titanfall 2's Time Gauntlet. Now, I mentioned atmosphere earlier. Wanted to go in a little more about atmosphere. You know a game's gonna be good whenever the atmosphere gives you that vibe. I'm not gonna say any specific vibe because it's different for everybody, but once that game gives you a vibe when you're out and exploring, you know it's gonna be something. Let's say you're playing Skyrim for the first time. You've just gotten done with fighting through all those tunnels and caves, escaping Helgen. You exit the cave, you step out into the cold open air, and you look around and you're just like, oh, wow, this game's gonna be big. Yes, there's a lot to do in Skyrim. The second you step out of that cave, you can see the mountains and you're like, whoa, this is a big world to explore. I know we got some people who go on no fast travel runs. There's probably people out there who walk. Takes a while, I bet. But there's something about the world that just is calming. Ambience, music, sound design, all of that really plays a huge part in how a game feels. I think most games do a decent job of making a world have a certain vibe to it, certain world that they created. Most games do a decent job of that, but there's still some that kind of fall short. I don't know any examples off the top of my head, so if you want, feel free to let me know. I will check those games out. If I can play them, I'll play them. Maybe talk about it at some point in the future as well. But some games do fall short of a good atmosphere. But I think for the most part, the calm between combat sections feels calm. Like the calm between combat feels calm. I know that's kind of a mess. I'm kind of new to this. I'm kind of making stuff up on the fly as I'm talking, but I don't care. Even in war games, you got gunfire, explosions off in the distance when you're playing some war games, like some Call of Duty games, you know? Even those have a good, like, I don't know, war ambience, I guess you could say. The Metro games also do pretty well when it comes to, you know, creepy ambience. Those games are actually pretty creepy. And I don't really do horror games all that much. I'm trying to get into it, which is why I'm playing through the first Metro game. I'm really enjoying it so far. They do really well at making you feel like you're not alone. One of my favorite atmospheres in a game would have to be the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion at night, like night in the game. When that sun goes down in the game and the moons come out, the crickets start chirping, that game just, it feels like something different. It's relaxing. It's calm. I could just sit in a chair outside in the game, leave it on, turn up the volume, and go do some like cleaning around the house or something. Very relaxing, very calming. It's probably why I got so many hours in the game, is because I'm just enjoying the atmosphere of the game. Atmosphere, ambience, the vibe, those all go hand in hand to make a game good. They all go hand in hand with everything I talked about earlier too. Like, a game doesn't need to look realistic to feel good. I think I might leave it at that for that part, because it's true. A game doesn't need to look realistic to feel good. Oblivion does not look realistic, and yet it feels amazing. So yeah, it doesn't need to look realistic to feel good. I think I mentioned earlier how Titanfall 2 gives you a little more freedom on how you get to approach combat. And I think that plays a pretty big part in why I think a game is good, giving you a little more freedom instead of just being like, go here, kill bad guys, do this, do that, yada yada yada. Titanfall 2 is like, yeah, go here, but you get to run and jump across walls and open huge gaps, and you get to jump off the walls, land behind bad guys, and blow them away. Titanfall 2 does a great job at giving you some freedom in how you approach combat. A lot of games don't really do that. It's like you go here, hide and cover, shoot, shoot, shoot. Run here, hide and cover, and shoot, shoot, shoot. And that, it just gets kind of repetitive after a while. But Titanfall 2 feels good. It takes a little more strategy and quick fingers on the controller and quick thinking to actually have it affect how you feel about it. There is nothing more satisfying than jumping off of a wall, landing behind a row of 3 bad guys, and shooting through all 3 of them at the same time. It's kinda hard to beat that one. Titanfall 2 did that perfectly and flawlessly. And most open world RPGs give you freedom to an extent. Some Elder Scrolls games, their quests could be kinda linear, but I know in Skyrim there are certain things that actually affect how quests turn out, whether you realize it or not. I will say that Fallout New Vegas does a better job at player freedom They have the whole faction system going on where it's like if you're liked within a faction, then they'll like you and they won't attack you. But if you're hated so much, they're probably going to attack you on sight. So that gives you a little more freedom to actually show that you're making a difference in the world instead of just like, here's a quest line, now do everything in this quest, here's a to-do list. Gives you a little more freedom, personalization in the world, whether you realize it or not. Even the smallest action though, like taking someone's loaf of bread, can make them not like you. So there's some flaws with that, but New Vegas does a great job at that. A lot of quest lines are pretty linear, but some can have different outcomes. Call of Duty Black Ops 2, whether you realize it or not, has a pretty great example of player choice. They give you like 2 moments where you get to actually make a decision of who to kill, who not to kill during first person cutscenes. And I'm not sure how many people realize this, but I know it took me a long time. It was probably my second or third playthrough of the campaign to realize this, but that prisoner exchange mission, spoiler alert, where you're tasked with sniping the prisoner from a rooftop, and it turns out it was the Mason from the first Black Ops game. I betcha most of us went for the head the first time around, but if you, the player, choose to avoid the head and shoot somewhere else, he will appear in a cutscene at the end of the game. I thought that was absolutely mind-blowing. I absolutely loved that part. Oh man, I think your character even mentioned that like he thought that character was dead all this time. It's honestly amazing the attention to detail game developers had back in the day, even the smallest things. I think it's also nice when a game lets you just figure something out on your own. Because, I mean, there are some games where if you die too much, it's like, hey, you need a hint, or you want to skip this part. But I think every now and then we just need to figure something out on our own. I know Dark Souls games, those games are hard, or any Souls-like games are just naturally difficult, and so you have to figure it out on your own. Bosses have their subtle movements, subtle hints of what attacks they're about to do, so you can prepare to dodge ahead of time and all that. And so it takes a lot of trial and error to figure that out, and I think that's cool because it increases the challenge of a game, but it still makes it possible. You can still complete it, you can still pass, you can still beat the bosses. It might take you a little extra time. I also love it whenever there's like hidden secrets in a game that you can discover. Like I mentioned, Titanfall 2 has the helmets you can collect throughout each mission. I think that's really cool. Call of Duty, they have all the little hidden intel across each map. When games have secrets, I find it more intriguing because it encourages you to come back and actually explore the map too. Then you can find all the secrets, get the 100% feeling. I don't know if games really have achievements for 100%, but never know, I bet you there are some. But little hidden secrets, it's the little things too. Heck, not even collectibles, like hidden details, like in Modern Warfare 2 on the Xbox 360. If you go and shoot a car's tire, guess what? It deflates. I tried that on modern Call of Duty games. Nothing happens. That is one thing that actually frustrates me with the modern Call of Duty games. They just stopped caring about the little stuff when it's the little stuff that matters. A tire deflating may not seem like a big deal, but when you're in a shootout and you see a car lower from a deflating tire, it adds to the immersion and realism of war. I'm just gonna say that. It adds to the immersion and realism. The little things just make a game feel more immersive. Yeah, that's that. I would like to say that your personal timing might also affect how you feel about a certain game. For example, you could have gone through a breakup or a loss and you're just killing time on Warzone and you find some buddies that actually can relate and help you and just be there for you, and then Warzone becomes like your number one game because it helped you get through a hard time in your life. Or if you're like me, you and your best friend when you were a kid had a sleepover like every other weekend, and you would hop on Minecraft together, computers, LAN World, local area network, and you would play super late into the night on like what, 1.8 or something like that. Those times were just so much better. And don't let the haters say you're blinded by nostalgia. Just don't let them say that. If it's something you actually genuinely believe was better, you believe it was better. You're not blinded by anything. It's just a belief. People have told me that I'm blinded by nostalgia, but I genuinely liked Minecraft better back then. It's barely Minecraft to me these days. I will also say that best friend that I mentioned, I had a best friend when I was a kid. Sadly, he had to move like across the entire country. Yeah, so I lost a best friend, and that version of Minecraft kind of became known as, I guess, like my favorite, because that's the one I had the most fondest memories on. Because when you have that one person that you can just game for hours with, it kind of starts to become special, and then once it's gone, once you can't do it anymore, it stings when you think about it, but you're happy you had those memories. Because I know that I'm happy I made those memories. I will forever remember going to his house, having a sleepover, staying the night, playing Minecraft, playing on our world that we named Derp. We named a world Derp, and it was one of my favorites. That laptop that I had has since been broken, and we threw it away and all that, and I don't have access to that account anymore, so there's no hope in me going back and replaying those worlds. But if I did, I'm pretty sure I would not be able to hold any tears in. We even played servers. He made a server and we played it, and it was amazing. So your past experience will definitely affect how you feel about certain games. Don't let anybody say you're blinded by nostalgia when you're not. You're not blinded by anything. It's just what you genuinely think, what you genuinely feel. I'm not gonna let anybody tell me how I feel when the only person who knows how I feel is myself. And if they don't believe it, that's on them, it's not on you. You can't control what others believe. And likewise, you can't control how others feel. So if someone liked the older versions of Minecraft better, they liked it better. I like to leave this part at this. sometimes it's not the game. It's not the game that you played. Sometimes it's when you played the game. When you played the game, that makes the difference. I am curious though, what makes a game memorable to you guys? Because I would love to hear it. If you want to drop a comment, let me know what makes a game memorable to you. I try to like and reply to every comment that I get. I'd love to hear from you guys and hear what makes a game memorable to you specifically. Because this video was about me personally. Everybody's different. This is just my opinion, my take on things. You're hearing from me. But I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Hey, it might be totally different from what makes a game memorable to me, but that's the fun of it. We're all different. No one's gonna have a memorable game same as another person for the same reasons. So, it might be different, but that's okay. But yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. You can subscribe if you want. It only takes 2 seconds. Maybe even hit the thumbs up button. Preferably the thumbs up. But hey, if you hit thumbs down, oh well, it's not gonna stop me. But you do you, I guess. Yep. Drop a comment if you'd like. Tell me about what makes a game memorable to you, or what I should even talk about in the next video as well. Because I'm always open to suggestions. But with that being said, I will see everybody in the next video. Later.